Hey guys, it's Mcfixit here. We're going to be working on this exterior door. It's inside of a garage, and this door is having some issues. You cannot lock the deadbolt at all, and the only way you can lock the door is if you pull up on it. You may have heard it click there. It is locked now, but if you go ahead and unlock it and try to lock it, it doesn't actually do anything unless you lift up, then it locks. So there's a couple of things that could be wrong with this. It's just kind of a process of trying to figure out what is wrong. Sometimes it is the door hinges over here. There's 3 of them. And sometimes it can be the different strike plates. It could be a lot of different things. It could be that the whole door is not level. Somebody just put this in at my sister-in-law's house, and kind of a crappy job, if I could be honest. Lots of gaps. They didn't caulk anything afterwards. And you can just tell where the strike plate is. You are having lots of rash right here. And so my guess is it's probably the strike plates were not done correctly. And so that's where we're having a lot of the issues on this project. And so I'm going to walk you through all the tools, just a few seconds, and exactly how I go ahead and get this done. Here are the tools and the supplies that I use for this. I used a drill with a Phillips bit, a hammer, a 1-inch chisel. Then at first I only had Scotch tape, and then I ended up finding some painter's tape. So either of those will work. These are all the tools you need to do to get your door back working correctly. So now that we have the tools figured out, we're gonna go ahead and open this up, and we're gonna take a look at this strike plate and see if possibly just by removing the screws. And the funny thing is, brand new build from this person, and there's a screw here and there's a screw here. They're missing 2 screws right off the bat. You can use a flat or a Phillips screwdriver, or if you got a drill, just goes a lot faster. And they kind of just used a random screw they probably found on the ground too. Again, not the cleanest or best project. So I'm going to go ahead and scoot the camera back and see if this goes ahead and fits into place, because that will just tell us. Sometimes it's just a matter of moving these a little bit, maybe up or down. Sometimes these are cut in too deep this way, and just moving it out just a little bit actually makes it work perfectly fine. So we're going to go ahead, try the lock feature. You don't want to pull too hard because you do not have the metal in there. And so that actually worked. So I'm going to go ahead and unlock it and just kind of show you. Now we're going to go ahead and try the deadbolt. And the deadbolt worked too. So my guess is that it's probably these strike plates. You can see how much damage is on this strike plate right here. And then so the next thing you got to do is go ahead, get it all unlocked, and kind of look back at the strike plate area. And so with this on this lower strike plate here, you can kind of tell it definitely is getting some hit here. Then this one, you really can't tell what's wrong because there's not a lot of where it's hitting. One thing I do notice is this is cut in a little deeper this way, and so it could just be this. We're just going to kind of have to play with it and kind of figure out what was wrong, but I don't think it is actually the hinges. I think it has a lot more to do with these strike plates. So that's what we're going to work on first, and if we have to move into hinges, we can move into that a little bit later. So one thing I did notice is it does look like this is a little far this direction. It's not really kind of in the center of the door like I'm used to seeing. And there's tons of room for this one to move around. So I'm just going to use some Scotch tape. If I was at home, I probably would be using painter's tape, but sometimes you just got to use what you have laying around. And so I'm just going to put a piece of tape here. And this can fall out as you're doing this, so you may have to do it a couple of times. And so I've moved it all the way forward as close to the camera as possible. Put another piece of tape on the back side. And again, this could fall off, but go ahead and try it again if it does. We're going to go ahead and see if we can shut the door and see if it will lock with that plate in there. Now you will want to hold the door kind of locked. Oh, it did bump it a little bit. Let's go ahead. And so it's locked there. You see? And it's in that spot. Go ahead and lock it again, and it did lock. So my guess is that the person who ever did this did not scoot this plate all the way up. And so that will actually make a pretty easy repair, which means this one we're just gonna have to notch out and scoot this back, which is good because you can tell they drilled in here and broke it straight through. That's why there was probably only one. I don't know what their excuse was down here because there was definitely room for a second one, but again, whoever this was that my sister-in-law hired, they probably should not have. They did not really know what they're doing. I mean, you can see the huge gap here too. Lots of other things not done accurately, but we're gonna fix this and make her door lockable, especially with the deadbolt. That just is so much more security. So I do not have any more of the little black screws, and in fact, I don't even like those. I like to go a little bit longer on them. And so we're gonna go ahead and put that kind of where it needs to be. And then we will go ahead and screw that right into place. And we'll go ahead and hit this bottom one up as well. And then we'll go ahead and test that. See if that did exactly what we wanted it to, which I sure hope it did. Sometimes you do have more problems than just that. But that is locked and in place just how we want that to be. So again, open, shut, locked, unlocked, you can open it back up. So for this top, it'll be a little bit more work than what we just did, but it's totally doable with just a couple of tools. So this right here it's just a 1-inch chisel. So I'm just going to score it. And I'm going to try to come in nice and at the same depth as the other. These are kind of old. This is kind of an old chisel, so it's not near as good as a fresh new sharp one, but it'll get the job done. And I try not, if I can avoid it, taking anything off of this. So we ended up finding some tape. So we should be able to use, it's kind of light duty painter's tape, but it should work a little bit better. So we're gonna go ahead and just try to kind of put that up and into place. Again, this is not something you have to do. This just helps you keep from putting more holes in than what you need to, and just keeps the integrity of this because it's already got holes in it. I'm trying my best to just try to keep it lasting a little longer. Doesn't have to look pretty. All you're doing is just testing it out to making sure it fits. And so hopefully that doesn't move when we shut it. There is that chance you may have to retape it depending on how tight everything is in there. So that did work. That's exactly what we wanted to see. And then remember that bottom one did work. So we'll go ahead and screw that back in. And since the tape is holding it so well, we're just gonna drill right into that. Again, we're gonna get rid of this because I only had one anyways. And we had some of these, they're about a 1 inch, 1.5 inch, just laying around. Go ahead and make sure it's straight centered. Straight in there and straight in there, just like that. We'll go ahead and remove the tape. Again, if all you have is Scotch tape, I already showed you that that does work. Painter's tape's a little bit more sticky, a little better. so we'll go ahead and shut the door. So let's go ahead and test it. Locks, both lock, both unlock. Just one of them locked. Just one of them locked, unlocked. That does exactly what that is supposed to do. If this was helpful, please like and subscribe. Please go ahead and comment if you do have any questions. Thank you guys so much for watching today on how to make your door ability to be able, your door to have the ability to lock and unlock properly. Again, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching.